Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
It was July 5th, 1947, when Larry Doby became the first African American to play in the American League. It was a little less than 3 months after Jackie Robinson made his big league debut, but his impact was just as great as he became the first player to go directly from the Negro Leagues to the Major Leagues. Doby later became the second black manager in the majors and was appointed to the American League's executive office in 1995. Today, we remember Larry Doby, a member of the Hall of Fame class of 1998. Next on Sports Time Ohio. A warm summer day in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, and on this day, we take the time to look back at the fantastic career of Larry Doby, the first African-American player in American League history. And of course, the Indians will take on the Detroit Tigers in Game 2 of a 3-game series here at Progressive Field. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Indians beat the Tigers last night. We'll get to that in a moment. But first up, Larry Doby, a man who you knew personally. I had a chance to interview him early in my career. He was a fantastic human being, but what he did in terms of baseball, he was a pioneer. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You know, not sure if he gets enough respect around all of baseball for what he did. The first African-American player to play in the American League. This guy was a true gentleman all the way around. Between he and Satchel Paige, two of the first African-American players to play on a world championship team. He led the league in home runs, and he had a terrific career. But, you know, also just a terrific person. He was nominated for Congressional Gold Medal of Honor today.
And so the Indians will get back to business here on the field tonight as they take on the Detroit Tigers. And last night was a big win for the Tribe to come home. You got a packed house. They had to wait 2.5 hours to get the game started because of the rain delay. But it was well worth the wait because the Indians have now gone 10-0 against the Tigers. Carlos Carrasco gets the ball today, and Carrasco in his last 4 starts, he's only given up 5 runs.
Well, he's been lights out, and what a changeup he had in his last start. I mean, he continued to throw that thing all game long. In his last 2 starts, he's been almost unhittable. One of them, a complete game shutout against the Detroit Tigers. So we're going to see if he comes out, attacks the same way, a good 2-seamer, a great changeup. And it's been the same thing for the Indians against the Tigers this year. Get an early lead, turn it over to the pitchers. They scored late last night to come back and win that ball game. And the Tigers on the year out of those 10 games have only led for a half an inning. And that's hard to believe throughout the course of this season so far.
The Indians trying to keep it rolling here at home tonight against the Tigers. We'll have the first pitch coming up next. Plus, we'll check in with Andre Knott. He'll get the thoughts of Rajay Davis, who remembers Larry Doby, when we come back. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Is he?
Now game's over. 12 straight here at Progressive Field. The longest home win streak in the Bigs this year. And the Indians look to keep that momentum rolling tonight here at home against Detroit, as Carlos Carrasco will go to the hill for the Indians. But right now, we're going to go downstairs to Andre Knott. We were talking about this being the anniversary of Larry Doby breaking in with the Cleveland Indians back in 1947, and it certainly touches a chord even with today's young players.
Absolutely. When you bring up Larry Doby's name inside the Indians clubhouse, a lot of guys' faces light up because they know a little bit of the history, and because he was a former Indian, I think it means a little bit more to some of the players. And talking to Rajay Davis and even talking to Francisco Lindor, he talked about, and Michael Brantley as well, they all just talked about the difference in what Jackie Robinson went through and what Larry Doby went through and how well he went through it. And in tonight's Hear Right Sounds of the Game, we hear from Rajay Davis on the impact of Larry Doby.
Somebody had to pay the price. Somebody had to pave the way. And I'm thankful that road is a lot smoother now than it was when he came around. Obviously, with the times, it was a tough time to be African American in the American Baseball League. This is America's game. So it was as he definitely went through his battles. He had to have. Like anything with change, change is always tough for people for some reason. I don't know why, but it is. We get used to same old, and we want to keep that, but change is good. The world is always changing. The earth rotates every single day. It's changing. You know, it's just, can we change with it?
Rick, you knew Larry Doby personally. He'd be proud of the way Rajay Davis carries himself and the way he plays the game.
Without a doubt. I just wish that he was around where Rajay could meet him and some of the ball players that play with the Indians now, because he was such a gentleman, terrific baseball player, but beside baseball, he was a better man than anything else.
So we remember Larry Doby on this day here in Cleveland and hopefully throughout Major League Baseball. And the Indians go back to work now against the Detroit Tigers. Carlos Carrasco on the hill trying to get his 5th win of the season. Let's take a look at the lineup he'll face tonight for Brad Ausmus and the Detroit Tigers. A little shakeup in the Tiger lineup. Kinsler, Maben, Cabrera at the top. Martinez batting 4th. Nick Castellanos, who had a good night last night, but he's been sidelined late this afternoon with a flu-like symptom, so Justin Upton will bat 5th. Moya will hit 6th, and Mike Aviles goes into the lineup at 3rd base batting 7th, and James McCann and Jose Iglesias.
And tonight's Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher, Carlos Carrasco, 4-2 on the year, 2.56 ERA. And his last 2 games we showed you in the open, he's been brilliant. And the Indians are 8-2 in his 10 games started this year. He gets about 3.5 runs of support this year. He's 1-0 at home, and he's very good with runners in scoring position, a 138 average. And I'll tell you what, he had an outstanding changeup in his last start that he threw about 75 times. So we'll see if it's around tonight. Let's set the defense behind Carlos tonight, brought to you by Jeep. The defense looks like this. It'll be Davis in left field. Naquin gets a start in center. Chisenhall over in right. Ramirez is at 3rd. Lindor at short. Kipnis is at 2nd. Napoli at 1st. Gomes doing the catching.
And the umpires tonight, Jordan Baker behind the plate. Tim Timmons at 1st, Ryan Blackney at 2nd, and the crew chief, Mike Everett, is down at 3rd. What a difference.
Batting second for Detroit, number 4, the center fielder, Cameron Maben.
And for the Indians offense, you got to take advantage of the Sanchez mistakes. We'll get to the numbers on him when he comes out to pitch, but
we'll see if he makes an adjustment to this Indians offense as how he pitched the last time.
Cameron Maben was 1 for 4 last night. And he takes a strike on the inside corner.
You know, for You see Kinsler going up and getting aggressive, hitting that first pitch. Well, maybe because that last start, Carrasco, complete game 4 hitter, had 7 strikeouts and threw a bunch of strikes.
Maybin pops it back out of play, and it's 0-2. So far in the season series, which has been 10 games, all won by the Indians, the starting pitchers for Cleveland have gone 8-0 in those 10 games. So only 2 no decisions.
And one was last night.
Yeah.
Ooh, good.
Got him looking. Wow. Maybin is out number 2. First strikeout for Carrasco.
Take a look at this pitch on our Nissan pitch tracker, right down in the zone. Look at the movement on that two-seam fastball, 93 miles per hour. Right down there at the knees.
Last night, with 2 outs in the first inning, Miguel Cabrera came up and swung at the first pitch and grounded out. Carrasco doesn't give him a chance.
That's all right. I love the pitch. You see, that's what they've been doing. And I'll tell you what, I wanted to talk about this last night. We didn't have time because he made an out. And here's one reason. They pitched him so well this year that he feels now he's got to go up and get aggressive because they've done such a good job on him, pounding him inside. So he wants to swing the bat as early as possible. And normally this guy could wait for anything, and it seemed like he could hit any pitch at any time.
Swung out and missed. Took a little something off. I don't know if that was a changeup, but it went straight down out of the strike zone.
You know, it was hard to tell in his last start because it was a variation of it. When that was a changeup because it went down and he had him out in front. Jimenez was catching him and he says it was so good I just continued to put it down. You know, and it was varying speeds.
Jammed him and he fought it off of his foot and will roll back to the mound.
You better pick up the pieces. Please pick up the pieces around the batter's box. This one went deep inside. After that changeup, he runs the heater in there. Wow.
Please dispose of all your litter.
Yes.
Well, you're right though. You don't normally see a lot of changeups that register 90, 91 miles an hour.
But you know, he could throw it down at 87 to 90, 91. Maybe even harder than that, but it's just a matter on, I think, the grip.
Last night, Miguel Cabrera did have 2 singles in the ballgame, but anytime you limit him to a single, especially when there's nobody in scoring position, that's a victory.
Yeah, one of them was on the infield to third base. I thought probably the play could have been made, but it went as an infield single, but they're forcing him to try and pull the ball.
Now the 2-2. Got a piece. During the Indians' 12-game home winning streak, the pitching staff has compiled a 1.86 ERA. So this 12-game home win streak, the number is very similar to the recent 14-game overall win streak.
And I'll tell you what, very similar to the whole month of June. They've been outstanding. They've been on a great run. It has been a treat to watch.
Now the 2-2. Swung out and missed. He struck him out. Carrasco with back-to-back Ks to end the first. Now the Indians are coming to bat. Sanchez. Here's the starting 9 under Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive. Carlos Santana right there in your picture will lead it off. Jason Kipnis batting second. Francisco Lindor will hit third. Mike Napoli, a big night with a double and the game-winning home run. Will hit cleanup. Jose Ramirez fifth. Lonnie Chisenhall batting sixth. Rajai Davis will bat seventh. Tyler Naquin eighth. And Yan Gomes batting ninth.
Well, a Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher, Anibal Sanchez, has made 3 starts against the Indians this year, 0-3 and an ERA 8.79. They've hit 3 home runs off him. And we'll see if he changes his pattern. We were talking about that earlier. He was throwing a lot of breaking balls, off-speed pitches early in the count. And the Indians were hitting everything when he was behind. See if he stays more fastballs.
What I'm interested to see, Rick, is his time in the bullpen. Has it helped him at all? Has it changed him? Because when he went to the bullpen, and you see this with a lot of guys, the velocity goes up. So the question for Sanchez is, can he bring that into the game? In other words, can he just blow it out, go as long as you can, but it's got to be as hard as you can. If he's trying to think about getting into the 6th and 7th innings, then he may be in store for more trouble.
I'm curious to see how he pitches Indians hitters when he's behind in the count.
Pop back out of play.
You know, because it was early. They got him early. They hit the home runs. Lindor had a pair of home runs that game, but they got him in the first inning. Santana got him, and so did Lindor, and I think they were both on breaking balls. And then he started to settle in a little bit better, and I think he threw more fastballs.
He's worked 8 games out of the bullpen, and the numbers for those games much better than as a starter. He's made 12 starts this year. His earned run average is 6.71 as a starter. Only Ubaldo Jimenez has a higher earned run average in as many innings this year.
Well, and we witnessed Ubaldo here getting knocked out in the first inning in his start.
High pop. And the third baseman, Mike Aviles, with the shift on, goes out to make the catch. One away.
Let's set the Tigers defense for you behind Sanchez tonight. It'll be Upton in left, Maben in center, Moya over in right. Aviles made that play at third. He was a late insert into the lineup. Iglesias at short. Kinsler is at second. Cabrera at first. McCann doing the catching.
Up comes Jason Kipnis. Now Jason is riding a 12-game home hitting streak that just happens to coincide with the Indians' 12-game home winning streak.
That's funny. That streak was like that on the road too when we were playing with Kipnis. His streak on the road.
Checks on the ball down and in. Last night, his first time up, he hit one to the wall in right field. And the next 2 times up, he doubled and singled.
Yeah, he and Davis set the table last night early.
Good pitch down and in. Close, but no call. And it's 2-2.
Good pitch, down a little bit, maybe a little low. It had plate. It was a good pitch. See McCann sitting in there. He's got the comeback fastball, but just a tad low.
Almost offered at it, but held up. Full count.
The key is here too, I'm facing Sanchez. Patience even when you get to the 3-2 count, because he has walked to 33.
Kipnis smokes it down the line with foul. We'll try again at 3-2. Jason has hit .270 here at Progressive Field this year.
Well, Sanchez's numbers as a pitcher much better when he gets ahead in the count, as I'm sure most pitchers are. After an 0-1 count, a .266 average. A 1-0 count, it goes up to .330. 1-2, 232. When it's 2-1, it's 100 points difference. 333.
Kipnis is rung up. He thought it was ball 4. Instead, there are 2 out in the inning.
Fastball away. And that had some run moving away from Kipnis. Let's see. He thought it was outside. We'll take a look at it.
Certainly looked outside.
Well, yeah, and it's moving away too. It looked away on the pitch tracker, but to Jordan Baker, it was on the corner.
So Francisco Lindor with 2 down on the bases empty. Lindor only had 1 official at bat last night. He grounded out in the first inning. His next 2 trips, both times a sacrifice fly to center field to drive home runs. Walked and scored ahead of Napoli's 2-run homer in the 7th. Broke his bat. Shallow right, Moya in. Makes the catch. The Indians go in order. And we have no score after 1. And Victor Martinez brings the 7th best batting average in the American League into tonight's contest after he went 1 for 3 last night with a run scored. Looks at a ball down low. High pop on the infield. Lindor and Ramirez both calling for it. And Jose.
Look at Lindor, hands on hips, saying, wait a minute, I'm the shortstop. I'm in charge.
Jose says, hey, I play shortstop sometimes too. I know how to take charge.
That's pretty funny. Lindor wants it, and then Jose calls him back off. Watch Lindor. Really? That's pretty good. He was playing shortstop at that time, so he's in charge.
Let's go down to Andre. Carlos Carrasco, that last start, his changeup was baffling, and already we've seen glimpses of it here tonight.
Well, you know, he's had so many problems since he's come off the DL with the slider, and that usually is his secondary pitch and his out pitch. I think Chris Jimenez gave him the confidence that that changeup was good enough. You talked about this a little bit in the first. The best thing about it is he can throw it anywhere from 87 all the way up to about 93 miles an hour, and he's finally finding out how to get a little bit of a dive to it at the end. So it's a fun pitch to watch, and maybe a pitch that propels him through the rest of the season, because He stopped throwing the slider last game, guys, because of it.
You know what? When you look at the home runs he's given up in his starts, and I'm talking about in Seattle when he gave up a couple home runs, every home run it seems to come off the slider because it's flat. And I'll tell you what, if you're throwing a changeup at 92, actually it's just like a two-seam fastball with the movement on it.
Well, what happens if he does get the slider back
Oh,
as well?
forget about it. He could possibly throw a no-hitter.
Now there's a bloop shot into right field, and Justin Upton has the game's first hit. Takes him the other way.
Well, here you go. Upton's just going in. He has to dig that ball out, and that's about the only thing you can do as a right-handed hitter when it's in there. It got down around the trademark, but he takes it the other way. If he tried to pull it, he would have shattered his bat.
That'll bring up Steven Moya. 2 for 4, hit a home run last night.
With the home run on a changeup from Salazar. Look out.
Late. Shoots it the other way. Steven Moya, you see they're batting over 300. Getting an opportunity. This is just his 22nd game on the year. He is so big at 6'6". When he digs in, his right foot, in other words his front foot, is almost out of the batter's box. It's clear back on the line. Good pitch, but no call. 1-1. Almost need a bigger batter's box for a guy
well,
like
this
this.
is, you know, he didn't hit for much average in the minor leagues. He had a lot of extra base hits, but he made an adjustment, changed the batting stance. And, you know, when you have somebody, maybe helps him open those hips up, even though he's going to close the front foot coming into it. You know, he's a big man, so he can't have a normal stance. You figure with as long as his arms are that he'll be able to reach the outside part of the plate. And normally, when you're that big, you do try and jam the hitter and not let him extend the arms.
The 2-1 fouled back. We always talk about how important the lower half is to hitting, and this guy's got some powerful legs.
Yes, he does.
Which is no wonder he can drive the ball with the power that he has shown. Didn't even look like he hardly swung last night on that changeup, and it got out of here easily in the right field. Down and in, a full count.
He tried the slider that time. Tried to get a feel, take him off the changeup, take him off the fastball.
And Moya fouls it off. And the 3-2 swung out and missed. We'll give Carrasco credit. He did not give in to him. He played on his aggressiveness and strikes him out.
You know, that might have been the curveball because that was the pitch he was throwing also in Toronto in his last start. Not really the slider, more of a curve, or putting a little more hump to it. It seemed like it was slowing it down compared to the slider, and he got him to swing and chase that for his third strikeout.
That's going to bring up Mike Aviles. His first home run of the season came against the Tribe back in Detroit. And that home run by Mike gave the Tigers their brief and only lead.
Yes, it did.
In the 10 games these two teams have played this year.
That in its own right is hard to believe.
Right back by Carrasco. Hits the bag, and Karams by Kipnis. Upton stays at second base, so tough break there for the Indians.
Well, it is a tough break, and Aviles catches the break, hits the bag, because even Lindor would have had it. It looks like Kip could have got it, but once it gets past Carlos, it's right back up the middle. He tried to come back, and he was stuck. Hits the corner of the bag, and I think Lindor would have had it and went to first base with it. But it hits the base, they catch a break, gets first and second, and 2 outs.
Right now in Major League Baseball, only the Chicago Cubs have held their opponents to a lower batting average with runners in scoring position than the Indians. Opponents batting .229 with runners in scoring position against the Indians this year. .213 against the Cubs.
Well, take into consideration they have a pitcher hitting in that league as well, as opposed to the DH.
So every once in a while you might get that
sure
matchup.
You get a guy that's you know, I'm sure a few at bats like that.
McCann lifts one in the air, center field. Back goes Naquin, ball carrying tonight. And on the front edge of the warning track, he pulls it down to end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. No score in Cleveland. Time to take a look at our Lowe's home field advantage tonight. Mike Napoli has made himself right at home here at Progressive Field this year with a .286 batting average, and those 12 home runs tied for the most home homers in the American League. First pitch, curveball, misses outside. Napoli with a double his first time up last night, and it led to the game's first run. But it was his home run in the 7th inning that had the joint jumping last night. Especially when you've got a guy like Bruce Rondon up there chucking at 95, 96, 97 miles an hour. And Napoli turned it around and sent it deep to the bleachers and left.
Yeah, he found his nitro zone, boy. It was down a little bit mid-thigh. Yes, he did.
Couldn't help himself. 2-2.
That was like a change up there.
And he strikes him out. So Anibal Sanchez off to a good start. He's retired the first 4 and has struck out 2. Our great clip of the game from last night takes us back to that home run by Napoli. That was barreled up, and he knew it.
12 of his 17 home runs have come in this ballpark, so he has enjoyed hitting here all year long.
Jose Ramirez 2 for 4 with a double last night. Looks at the ball up high, 1-0. Ramirez has hit in 9 straight games. And he's another guy that has really thrived at home this year, batting .357 at Progressive Field. A little bit inside.
Nice eye.
3-1. And he was walked his first tonight with 1 out here in the 2nd inning.
Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com @bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download the MLB.com app, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
In his 12 starts this year, coming into tonight, Sanchez has walked at least 1 batter in all 12, and in 10 of the 12, he's walked multiple batters. Not saying that that's a big problem, but certainly that doesn't help when you're giving up as many hits as he's allowed.
Well, I was going to say, if you're giving up more hits than innings, and then you're starting to walk a couple of guys a game, it certainly does have an impact. That means that you better start really pitching well with runners in scoring position. And then you're tossing in 16 homers to go with it. I bet there's not a lot of solo shots.
He had 1 start this year that almost defies logic. It was a game in Oakland. Actually, it was in Detroit against Oakland. In 5 2/3 innings, he walked 7 and struck out 9 and only allowed 2 runs.
Wow.
Must have been one of those nights where his ball was just moving all over the place. Lonnie with a ground ball wide to Kinsler. It's into right field. Ramirez hits the bag at second. Thought about going for third, but he'll hold there. And the Indians have 2 on with 1 out.
I thought they were going to try and, after watching last night's game, get aggressive with Moya in right field. I would like to see maybe Ramirez try and run on him. Although a lot of times when that ball's in front of you, it's tough to get to third base. So he decides, I think I'll stay right there.
I couldn't tell, Rick. He came around second. It looked like he picked up Mike Sarbaugh and then stopped. So I don't know if Mike was telling him,
yeah,
pump the brakes
he
right
might
there.
have been. He might have been. You got Davis, who's swinging the bat well. You know, that third base coach, he wants to make sure, especially with 1 out, you're in scoring position. Let's not test it early. It's a 0-0 ball game. And Davis coming to the plate, who's been swinging it very well.
Rajay this year Has batted over 300 at home. It's interesting. His numbers at home and with runners in scoring position are identical. He's batting .314 in both instances. Last night, he walked and scored in the third, singled and scored in the fifth. Last night, Rajai was batting in the leadoff position, and he ended up leading off 3 different times in the ballgame.
Yeah, 2 of those 3 he was on base.
Ripped to left field, base hit all the way to the wall. Ramirez will score. Chisenhall will stop at third. It's an RBI double for Rajai Davis, and once again the Indians will play from in front.
Well, like I said, this guy's been swinging it well. He gets his 32nd RBI, his 15th double. And here come the Indians. Boy, this is going to be our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Line drive over to third baseman's head. Aviles can't get up. It's by him. It'll go to the wall. And back again, and still another opportunity. Second and third and 1 out to add on and get the crooked numbers. They weren't able to do that last night. See if they can do it tonight. There's Rajai. Yeah, we got it again.
He just said bang. The Indians this year, when they score first, are 38-8. And they've won 24 of the last 26. A good omen indeed as Tyler Naquin stands in and almost got hit by that pitch. And a smash to second. Kinsler looked home. He'll take the out at first. 2-0 Cleveland. Naquin picks up his 18th RBI on the year.
Well, just like I say, it's a free at bat, boy. When you get up there and the infield's back, it's just a matter of putting the ball in play, hitting it on the ground like Tyler did. Gets himself a free ribby, and the Indians make it a 2-0 lead.
Well, and the other thing it does, gets that runner over to third, Rajai Davis, and Sanchez is tied with Justin Verlander for the team lead with 6 wild pitches on the year.
Yeah, one gets away, you just never know, do you? And you have good speed on third.
Yan Gomes pulls it to short. Iglesias up with it, inning over. Indians parlay a walk and a couple of knocks into 2 runs. They lead it 2-0 after 2. For Detroit, Jose Iglesias, the number 9 hitter, will lead it off. Iglesias last night went 0 for 4 in the ballgame. In his career, he's gone 4 out of 11 against Carrasco, and that's pretty good.
The game ended on the double play that he hit into. They had to overturn it. He hustled down the first baseline, made it awfully close. He was called safe. They took another look at it, and they overturned it, and the game was over.
Bullseye, 2-1. Wow. Now the 2-1. Popped him up. And backpedaling Jason Kipnis pulls it down, 1 away. This is what you're referring to, Rick, with the ground ball to Jason Kipnis.
Yeah, it went 4-6-3. And you can see how close it was. He was called safe originally. Then they took a look at it, and there it is. Game's over. And that would have brought the tying run to the plate if he was safe. So that was a big call.
For Brad Ausmus, it has been puzzling as to why the Tigers have not been able to beat the Indians this year. And Rick, we've talked about it, you know, in the last couple of years. You looked at where the Indians were in the standings. Well, if they played better in the division, they'd be one of the teams. Well, this year they have. They finally have flipped the tables on their Central Division foes, and now it's the Indians who are on top.
And look at the divisional record for Detroit.
And I was just going to say, if the Tigers want to figure out what's happened to their season, they don't have to look far. Right across in the other dugout is a big reason why they're 6.5 games out of first heading into play tonight. But hey, it happens, and it's impossible to try and predict it before the season, or just like in 2013 when the Indians won 17 out of 19 from the White Sox. The very next year, Chicago turned that around on Cleveland.
Yeah, they did. It's tough to do it in your division. You know, you go in and you say, hey, man, you want to play well at home and play 500 on the road every year, but it just doesn't turn out that way. Last year, they were not good at home. They were better on the road, and it's like you can't figure it out. Some guys hit better at home, better on the road, and it changes every year. I do know this, the Indians have held that offense, and Detroit's an offensive club. And when you hold them down 3 runs or less, you've got a really good chance. We used to say, if we want to beat the Tigers, we've got to score at least 5 runs, you know, to beat them. Well, we're scoring 5, but we're still not giving up, you know, more than 3. And that's the reason why they're undefeated against them. They've done a terrific job pitching against this offense.
31 times this year, the Indians have scored 3 or less, but they've won 7 of those games. Swung on and missed.
There's a nice little slider. You know, this is his slider. This was his bread and butter pitch. But you know, when after the injury, he's been back in that just slider. It hasn't been there. It hasn't been down. It's been spinning sometimes and stays middle of the plate, and it's been hit out of the ballpark. So this, in a way, it could be a blessing, like we talked earlier. That changeup he's developed and he's getting a feel for. There's not a darn thing wrong with that.
The 2-2. Maven just did get a piece. And it stays 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I sent along some birthday wishes. Happy birthday to Jesse Linden, turning 24 in New York City, who's a big Tribe fan.
Right.
So, Jesse, happy birthday.
He'll take a bite out of the Big Apple. calls it foul.
Yeah, 9 times this year the Indians pitching has held the Tigers under 5 runs of scoring out of the 10 games. So
Swung out and missed. Carrasco has his 4th strikeout, and he retires the side in order for the 2nd time tonight. For Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Bottom of the 3rd. And for the Indians, the top of the order. So this now the 11th game between these two clubs this year. And as the Indians come to bat in the bottom of the 3rd, they have now outscored Detroit in the first 3 innings of their season series 27-1.
whew.
And I think if you want to look at what might be one of the biggest reasons that they've dominated them, that's it. That combined with the pitching, as effective as it has been, they've had the early lead. They've pitched from in front for most of the games.
That's basically how their season's gone.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, you know, we're 38-8 when you score first. So there it is. You score first, turn it over to your pitchers. They can. You don't want to say relax, but I mean it's not as tense, you know, where you're going in there. I remember earlier in the year they were behind a lot, and it seemed to be a big key. It was much different offensively. They were having a tougher time scoring runs. I think this offense has realized, hey, if we can get our boys a couple early, we're in good shape, and you know that goes a long way. Maturing as a team, they know what they have to do to win it. No surprises, no guessing.
Carlos Santana with a 5-game hitting streak. Awaits the 2-2 pitch. Way outside a full count. Santana leads the club with 18 home runs, one more than Mike Napoli. Oh, nice pitch by Sanchez for his 3rd strikeout. Well, the All-Star teams have been announced, and the Indians will have a pair headed to San Diego. Francisco Lindor earns a nod on the All-Star team with a fantastic first half. And Danny Salazar will be named to the All-Star team as well. Though, just looking at the way the days fall, it's unlikely that he would pitch in the All-Star game because...
I think he's scheduled for Sunday, isn't he?
Well, let's see, what's today? Tuesday?
Uh-huh.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He pitched Saturday. So unlikely he'd pitch on just a couple of days rest in San Diego. But nonetheless, the Indians have at least two.
Congratulations. He's had a tremendous first half. Like he's on cue.
Upstairs to Kipnis. Former Indians farmhand Stephen Wright also made the All-Star team for the Boston Red Sox, the knuckleballer. Said one of the first phone calls he made was to Tim Wakefield.
Yeah. The fraternity.
Yeah.
A guy I'm sure that's helped him out a lot.
3-0 pitch. Catches the outside corner. Now the 3-1. Looks like Miguel Cabrera will be the only representative for Detroit. Not surprising. He's going to his 11th All-Star game. Swing and a miss. He came back to get him. Nice job. I tell you, Sanchez, even though the Indians clipped him for a pair of runs in that second inning, he looks like a different pitcher than the one we saw the last time in Detroit.
Yes, he does.
Here's the All-Star starting lineup with a pair of Royals, Perez and Hosmer. Bogarts, Bradley Jr. and Betts will represent Boston. Manny Machado, as well as David Ortiz. I forgot about him. Manny Machado, Jose Altuve, and Mike Trout. Pulls it to first, and the pitcher Sanchez cuts it off. And the inning is over. They go 1-2-3, but the Indians lead it 2-0 as we head to the fourth. That young fan is happy. Fourth inning. Detroit will send Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, and Justin Upton to the plate.
Yeah, we got a lot of little ones out here tonight.
Yeah.
Wonder how long it took Mom to put the bows in the hair before she came to the ballpark.
Got in on him, popped him up. But once again, Rick, as you so keenly pointed out when we were in Detroit, They keep attacking him in, forcing. He can't get his hands through to really do any damage with that pitch.
And they're going to continue to do that until he makes an adjustment. And I saw him cheating a couple times inside. He loves the ball away and he kills it. When you give it away, he can wear right field out. He can hit it for power. But boy, they have done just a great job on him this year.
Victor Martinez takes a strike over the outside corner.
Those are some different looking shoes, huh? I know they had the red, white, and blue yesterday.
I think those
What's
are
today.
Is that the Venezuelan country colors?
Oh, okay.
It might be the Venezuelan flag colors he's rocking there.
I got you. Okay.
They are colorful. I'll give him that, man. Hard hit ball. Kipnis had to go a long way, and from the outfield grass throws him out. 2 down. The injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. You talk about a tough loss for the Kansas City Royals. Wade Davis, their dominant, outstanding closer, down with a strained right forearm. So they'll be without him through the All-Star break. And Kansas City began the night a half game back in Detroit in 3rd place in the AL Central. They've lost their last 2 and they've split their last 10. Justin Upton taking a strike.
Carrasco now 7 outs on 3 pitches or less.
Bounce to 3rd base.
Look at 8.
And Jose Ramirez throws him out. They go 1, 2, 3. And Carrasco has set down 7 straight. 2-0 Cleveland.
I think so. That's right up Murph's alley.
Why wouldn't you? 2-0. The Indians lead it as we roll on to the bottom of the 4th. And our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Tribe has won 12 in a row at home, sweet home, 5 in their last at bat. And you know, you go back to when this whole thing began, and that's how it started. They were kind of coming off. I'm trying to remember, they had been swept in Kansas City.
Well, Texas came in and beat them 2 out of 3. They had to beat Texas the last game on the first walk-off.
That's right. That's
and then they went and walked off on Kansas City the very next night and swept Kansas City.
That's what it was, yeah. So it kind of started where you things weren't looking good.
Terrible homestand to that point.
And then all of a sudden, a walk-off win, and it just flipped everything. And they hadn't done that. I mean, this team had.
That was their first. Their first 2 of the season. Yes, exactly right. They were playing. Texas was beating them. They ended up finally coming back and winning that game. And boy, did it ever flip a switch.
Mike Napoli struck out his first time up. Anibal Sanchez. One ball, 2 strikes. Sanchez has struck out 4, and all 4 strikeouts have been clustered around the top 4 hitters in the Indians lineup. He got Santana in the 3rd. He's struck out Kipnis twice, and he got Napoli his first time up. You know, one of the big stories before the game today was Michael Brantley, who was out for early batting practice, swung the bat. He feels good. It was great to see him on the field. He's anxious to get going. The 3-2 to Napoli is ripped foul. When Terry Francona met with the media, you know, he was talking about, you know, they'd love to have Michael Brantley back, and when he gets back, you know, he's going to primarily be the left fielder. And he said that's where Jose Ramirez has played the bulk of his time this year. But he said he's such an important player for him. He said we're going to have to find a place to play him when Brantley does come back.
You know, I think it may be better for the team when Jose comes back. He can spell Uribe at 3rd, Lindor at short, Kipnis at 2nd, and keep those guys fresh because they've been playing almost every single day.
Right.
And hey, we still have halfway to go. So I'm sure he'll be able to find him plenty of playing time. That's a welcome addition when you can do that. You
That's
know,
what
you
they
don't
call
have to play him.
a good problem to have.
Yeah, to me, you're right. It's a great problem. Those guys need some rest, man, if they want to stay sharp. You know, he tried to do it over the weekend with the extra innings, and we were short. We couldn't do it because of the bullpen.
9th pitch of the at-bat. Napoli watches it go by and draws a walk. That's
Nice.
vintage Mike Napoli right there.
Second walk. Nice at-bat.
Let's go down to Andre. And, you know, we were talking about Michael Brantley, and I know you talk to him frequently. Hey, I know he's itching to get back.
Hey, he can't wait. He's been sitting over here for the most part next to me, Michael, messing with Mike Aviles. He's the most excited we've seen him this year. Now, let me throw this monkey wrench into it. Arch, what about putting Jose out in center field and seeing if he can play right field too?
Well, I mean,
could he?
How many guys do we can only play? They only have 3 outfield positions.
Well, I'm saying at center, you could play him at center, maybe in spell or right field as well. I don't know if right field would be good for him, but the others maybe.
Well, what's Naquin going to do? What's Davis going to do? What's Chisenhall going to do?
I think there's enough. I think there are enough at bats for Jose Ramirez. Look, let's all knock on wood and whatever superstitions you might have. Let's get Brantley back first.
Right.
And I don't think it's going to be an issue. Terry is a master at getting everybody opportunities, especially his best players.
Well, I've said this to you guys. We talk about getting everybody a rest. How about getting Ramirez a rest?
Well,
He plays for everybody, right?
Yes, he does. But I'm saying he's really come on this year, and he's accepted this role and thrived on this role, you know, and he's been the best hitter. So Terry doesn't want to take him out of the lineup.
Got career highs in hits, doubles.
He leads the team in
RBIs.
doubles.
He's done it all.
And he's also the switch hitter.
And he's got another base hit in the right field.
How can you take that out?
Look at Napoli going to 3rd. And Moya's throw nowhere near in time. And the Indians have runners at the corners with nobody out here in the 4th inning. And since we were talking about Terry Francona, this is something else that he mentioned today. And that is, look, when we started the year, going back to spring training, we wanted to be a good base running team. And he mentioned Mike Napoli by name. He said, look, Nap's not our fastest guy by any means, but he runs the bases hard. He runs the bases with intensity. You know, he's a guy that will move up a base on a ball in the dirt. And that's something they've done a better job of.
Knapp just did what I wanted Ramirez to do an inning before, where he stopped at 2nd. You got to challenge the big man out in right field. Napoli did it, and that ball was hit in front of him. So it's a nice job by Ramirez getting down there, getting that base hit over there, but nice job by Napoli hustling.
But those are some of the little things that this club has done well this year that may be overlooked if you're on the outside looking in. If you're not watching this team every day like we are, that might be something that other people don't see as to why the Indians are sitting here at 50-32 on the year.
Well, I just double-checked, and Napoli, he was held up too by Sarabal, but he didn't stop. He just kept on going. And you're your own base running coach.
You've said that to me for 20 years now.
You know,
you're exactly.
You know the guys that are playing defense. You know the situation. You have a 2-0 lead. I will say this: it was 0-0 when Ramirez stopped. But I like what Napoli does. Let's go. He's not the fastest guy, but you gotta stay aggressive.
Lonnie Chisenhall pulled a base hit through the hole on the right side in the second inning, and then he came around to score. Charlie Manuel, when he was a hitting coach here a long time ago, used to say, "Know thyself." But that applies to everything in baseball.
Right.
You know your speed, you know your arm, you know what you can do.
And you know the scoreboard. The scoreboard dictates a lot of how you run the bases. And by that, I mean what the score, if you have the lead, when you can be more aggressive. When you're down, you're not as aggressive. You know the outfielder's arms. You know the hitters and who's coming up.
Lonnie with a base hit right field. Napoli can walk home. Ramirez on his way to third. Helmet flies off. He's going to be stopped there. Moya hit his cutoff man, Kinsler. Ramirez was going to try to score, but this goes back to what we were talking about. The aggressive mindset that the base runners have. They want to score on every play.
Yep.
They get another run home. It's 3-0.
Well, this is going to be our AT&T high-speed replay. Look at Lonnie pull the hands in and drive it down the right field line. You know it gets down there. It did not get to the corner or Ramirez would have scored. He cut it off before it got to the wall, so you have to hold him up. There's nobody out, but Chisenhall with the double. They make it a 3-0 game. Second and third, nobody out, and a couple of free at-bats. Here we go. Second double of the night, and Rajai had the first one and got him on the board. So this offense, just I'm telling you, they feed off each other. You know, each other. They get that good feeling going. They do it early and then they add on. And you know, you're just doing this. You know what's fueled this offense? The 2 walks. Because there was a 1-out walk to Ramirez, and then it started, and then the leadoff walk to Napoli.
Rajai lifts a fly ball to deep right field, plenty deep enough to get Ramirez home.
And to get
Chisenhall tags, he's going to third. He's in there safely. 4-0 Cleveland.
Beautiful.
And Rajai Davis has driven in 2 runs already tonight.
And they lead the league in sacrifice flies. That's their 30th. But that's really a productive out. You score the run, you move the guy from second to third, and now Naquin again is going to have an opportunity with a ground ball to have to drive in a run. That's his only play. You go into third base, the run's going to score. Chisenhall goes to third. It makes it a 4-0 game. You do this on a consistent basis, and you'd be surprised how many runs you score.
Detroit has action in the bullpen. They also have brought the infield in with Naquin at the plate. And he fouls the first pitch back.
They're doing tonight what they didn't do last night is, you know, putting the crooked numbers up. They had the same opportunities, but tonight they're getting the job done.
Instead of fence posts.
Yeah, you got the crooked numbers. And fence posts, we mean the 1 run.
Instead of fence posts, it's barbed wire.
Yeah, watch out. Yes, it'll hurt you.
Tyler Naquin with that infield in. And Lonnie Chisenhall down at third. Chased one in the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes. on the year now as you see Buck Farmer getting loose. He just got called up today. The Indians have batted .393 with runners in scoring position in now 11 games this year against the Tigers. That's just incredible. Well, why not? If I'm Sanchez, I think that's a smart move. He swung at the last one in the dirt. Why not see if he can do it again?
He knows he's a good low ball hitter. He has the count in his favor. He's going to make him swing at that pitch. He feels he can't let that run score from third base, and he's probably right. The way Carrasco's pitching right here, 4 is going to be a tough spot. Oh, took one right down the middle.
Yeah. And it was a fastball. And that's strikeout number 5 for Sanchez. 2 down in the inning.
Good pitch. He just locked him up after bouncing one out in front of the plate. He thought it was going to be another changeup going down. It was a nice fastball at the knees, and it stayed that way all the way in. So that'll give Gomes a chance to try and get a 2-out base hit.
He takes low and away, ball 1. Gomes grounded out to short. His only time up. That came with a runner at third and 2 outs. Terry said one of the reasons that he moved Jan down in the lineup is that, look, I know he's been struggling. It's pretty obvious for everybody to see. And he said, what you try to do is put a guy in a spot where the weight of the world isn't on top of him every time he comes to the plate. Now, that's easier said than done in baseball because the baseball gods have a way of finding you.
I mean, it doesn't matter. If you try and move a guy down and take him out of pressure situations, the game will find him eventually. You know, you're going to have opportunities to drive in runs no matter where you hit. But you know what? Patience is one thing. And I think for Gomes, a lot of it is confidence right now. I don't think his confidence is very high whatsoever.
Inside out, down the right field line. Long run for Moya. He's in the corner, and he can't get there, but it is a foul ball.
Yeah, he needs right now a nice 2-out base hit. He's trying to stay on the ball. He's trying to go the other way. Moya had a long run. He's getting close. He took a peek at that wall, but he knows he's getting close and just doesn't get there, about a half a step off.
Tito said he still believes that Yan Gomes has a hot streak in him. And he said you never know when it's going to happen. It might be a hit. It might be one game. It might take a couple. But the 2-2.
Well, we were talking about how this team started going. It was his hit for the first walk-off, base hit up the middle against Texas that got the team going. He needs to get something to get him going, because you know he's got to be frustrated. You look up and you see the batting average under 200 every time you look up. And
Terry said that's the toughest part. You're walking up there and you have to see that
I know
every time.
I know it. You look up and you can't hide from it.
Down he goes. The inning is over, but the Indians strike for 2 more. Lonnie Chisenhall with an RBI double. Rajay with a sac fly. Cleveland 4, Detroit nothing. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. Well, Leah Murphy and the Marbinas family.
There they are. Welcome
Check
to
it out,
Cleveland.
the tribe. And in honor of Leah Murphy, I want to point out that with the All-Star teams being announced tonight, the game will be in San Diego at Petco Park. But did you know that the last pitcher to get a hit in an All-Star game was Charles Nagy in 1992 at the Murph in San Diego?
No kidding.
Yeah. So I was talking to Murph about that because I was thinking
Whose
in my
helmet
head.
was he wearing?
I
remember that's
I
what
know.
we used to talk about.
Because he didn't have his own. He had to borrow
That wasn't it
somebody's.
a wrong ear flap or something like that. I remember he got a base hit.
Chuck would not go up with the wrong ear flap, Arch. Come on.
Okay, we'll figure it out here soon.
But that's what made me think of it. It was, we're announcing the All-Star starters, and I saw David Ortiz, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. Games in San Diego, they don't use the DH in the National League Park, but it's not the same format as it used to be.
Right.
Stephen Moyle leading off here in the fifth, struck out. His only time up in the second inning. He draws a leadoff walk. That's the first walk issued by Carrasco tonight.
Now stepping in for the Tigers, number 14.
Murph said it was a Texas Rangers batting helmet that Charlie
I knew
was
there
rocking.
was something wrong. That's right. Didn't know if he was going to hit. Didn't have an Indians helmet.
Maybe it was Ruben Sierra's.
I don't know, but whatever. He got a base hit with it. Of course, all the Texas Ranger helmets have base hits in it.
Oh, man. Murph's going deep into the box score. Nag's hit was off Doug Jones.
Was it really?
That's
Wow.
Just awesome.
That was 1992, huh?
And he scored a run. Travis Fryman drove him home when Fryman was playing for Detroit.
Coming full circle right
It's
now.
all coming
It's
full
coming
circle,
through.
baby.
The 6 degrees of Charlie Nagy.
Mike Aviles had an infield single on a ball that got just past Carrasco's reach, and then it hit the second base bag and carried by Jason Kipnis. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, I'll take another ground ball like that, except at one of their infielders.
Well, it was uncharacteristic that Carrasco walked Moya to start the inning because through the first 4 innings, he pounded the strike zone at better than 70%. Just got a piece of that off the end of the barrel.
Yeah, he's got a feel for his slider today. Much better than we thought or we saw in the last game.
Now the 0-2. Just off the outside corner.
Well, you see, Gomes' glove is off the plate.
Oh,
I mean,
don't
that's
know.
that's a tough one to
Yeah,
lay off.
yeah.
I mean, because it is moving back in. Tough to lay off. I'll tell you what, I don't know how many times you could take that pitch, though.
Again, that pitch is right there on the edge, and you could see Jordan Baker almost flinch, just barely flinch.
Well, you know what, though? If you call the first one a ball, you better call the second one a ball, and that's consistent. So he went out there twice.
And Aviles lays off again, full
All
count.
right.
walked him.
How
Wow.
about that?
That's
You go from
that's not
0-2
good.
to 4 straight, you know, and you want to be aggressive there. That amazes me there. To had him down 0-2 and you throw 4 straight in the same spot.
Carrasco looks to be unnerved a little bit. Maybe not happy with a couple of those calls
You might
that
be
didn't
right.
go his way.
I think you might be right there. That's why Gomes is going to go out there and try and settle him down. And now Mickey Callaway, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
He might have felt he had a couple of strikes and he's upset. So let's slow it down. Give him a 30-second timeout here.
Oh yeah, he's not happy. He's,
Right. He knows. Yeah, here comes the ump too. Now Mickey may take a little pressure up and say, just relax. You don't get out of your game. I'll say something, or Gomes will say something.
30-second clock was late getting started. It just started as Jordan Baker walked out to the mound. Well, I guess there's a couple things. One, I think you probably should have had one, if not two of those pitches maybe called a strike. The other thing is if he's not calling it, you got to challenge the guy.
Well, you got to bring it in, yes, because he's going to call it the same way after you throw 2 there. So that's all right. They settle him down. Don't get out of your game. You have a 4-0 lead. You're at the bottom part of the lineup. Be aggressive. He had 8 outs on 3 pitches or less going into this inning.
And James McCann fly to center is only time up. And there's a strike.
And not a bad idea by McCann, just taking a pitch to make sure. You never know. If he throws another one in the same spot it's called the ball, he may. He knows Carrasco will be upset. Cookie, just get yourself a ground ball double play. That'll take care of it.
Four ground ball outs to go along with his 4 strikeouts. Got in on him, and ball carries to the warning track, caught by Davis. 1 away. You could tell off the swing, he kind of jammed and didn't really hit it hard.
And the sound,
Yeah.
the sound coming off the bat sounded like a little thud, not a crack. Well, get your Jan Gomes bobblehead courtesy of Sports Time Ohio on Saturday. The Indians will take on the Yankees plus the T-Mobile pregame district block party. And KeyBank will be providing specials for fans all weekend as part of the KeyBank hassle-free weekend. Just go to Indians.com and get your tickets today. What do we got? 5 more games after tonight going into the All-Star break here. So come on out and have some fun.
Right now, Jose Iglesias steps in. And at the knees for a strike. Shattered bat. Kipnis on one bounce goes to second for 1.
Yes.
Goes to third. Lindor
Yes.
with the throw. Double play. Inning over.
Heads up play by Lindor. He would not have gotten Iglesias at first. So he sees he got a bad jump at third. So he goes to third and they get the out. Well done.
double play in which the batter wasn't put out. They go 4, 6, 5 on the inning-ending double play.
Lindor saw that he did not get a good jump waiting for the ball to hit, and he knew that Iglesias was getting down the line. He wasn't going to be able to throw him out, so he just goes for the easy out at third base, and Ramirez was there waiting.
Yeah, I can see what happened to Moya. He thought maybe Kipnis would catch the line drive, and he got stuck in it.
Right. And Lindor realized that before he got the baseball. Heads up play, and that's what Carrasco needed. Now he was all smiles in the dugout in between the innings.
Fastball over the outside corner for a strike. Indians got 2 in the second, 2 more in the fourth. And Santana, much like Rajai Davis last night, is leading off for the 3rd time. It's down low, full count. Sanchez walked Ramirez in the 2nd inning with 1 out. He came around to score. He walked Napoli to lead off the 4th, and he came around to score.
Yeah. Set up both innings.
And the payoff pitch is low, ball 4. He's walked his 3rd. And as I mentioned before, in 10 of his 12 starts this year, so if you include tonight, 11 out of his 13 starts, he's walked multiple batters. It's the 5th time, now make that the 6th time he's walked at least 3 in his starts this year. Let's go down to Andre Knott.
You know, last week where we were in Atlanta, I believe that's where we were last week. You know, I talked to Jason Kipnis about hitting the ball more to right field this year, and he said hitting it to left field is so last year. He laughed when he said it, but he told me later on, he goes, look, I've been pitched to differently this season, and I'm checking the adjustments with it. If they give me what I usually get, I'll start hitting the ball back to left field. And if you look at it, his power numbers are up because he's driving the ball more to right field and the center because that's where they're pitching him right now.
When you prove to the people you'll take the ball away, you'll take your base hits and drive the ball to left field like he did last year, that forces them to pitch you inside, and you'll get more pitches to turn on or to pull.
Bounces this one to Kinsler. They'll get the force at second. That's it. 1 down. That's why baseball is always a game of adjustments.
Yes, you know, you prove, okay, they don't want you to hit that, take that base hit double. All right, now you just move it and turn it. You pull the ball a little bit more. You will hit for more power. But his average might be down a little bit, but it's okay. You know, because they'll play the shifts over on him. They'll throw that 3rd guy on the right side at times when you do pull it on the ground. But when you look at Kipnis right now and you look at Santana, he's got 1 more RBI than Santana.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Arch. Kip's on pace for 20 homers, 90 ribbies this year.
Bingo.
You'll take that from
Absolutely.
your second baseman, 2-hole hitter. You kidding me?
Yeah, you know, that's right. Turn on the baseball, and he's been key. He has a lot of big base hits driving in runs this year as well.
Francisco Lindor flied to right in the 1st. He hit a little tapper back toward the mound in the 3rd. as happy as I am for Francisco Lindor that he's going to the All-Star game, I just hope somewhere in those 4 days he can find a little time to rest. He's so important to this club, and that's the one drawback to anybody that goes to the All-Star game.
Yeah, he's 23, he's fine. But you're right, you do need sometimes a mental break, but it'll be a treat for him.
Now the 1-1. Hammer to right. Moya can't make the play. It'll go to the wall. Kipnis had to stop. He'll restart. He's coming into third. Sarbaugh's going to wave him home. Kinsler's throw to the plate. He is safe. Lindor with an RBI triple, and it's 5-0 Cleveland.
Boy, Kipnis just did get the hand in. He had to wait because he thought Moya might catch the ball. By the time he gets over there, he went for the slide. It gets past him, and he had to restart again. But when you're up 4-0, here you go. We can be aggressive. In comes the hand. There's the throw. Here's the tag. Not before Kipnis gets the hand down, and Lindor gets his second triple. His 42nd RBI, making a 5-0 Indians lead. They have hit a number of triples against the Tigers this year.
Well, they had 4 in one game, 3 in one inning.
They gave him a double. Yeah, well, it's only a double. I take it back. They said he went to third on the throw. He was going to third anyway.
Mike Napoli.
If they look at that again, he had third all the way.
Yeah, that's
the reason why they had a chance at Kipnis is because he had to stop thinking he was going to catch it. Once it got by him, Lindor had an easy triple.
Yeah, Kip had the harder way to go because he thought he was going to catch it.
Yes, they gotta check that out.
Well, the other thing too, Arch, when you look at that replay, I can see why Kipnis was in the predicament he was. It's not like that ball short hot Moy. He just missed it.
He went to, his slide and catch it. And when he did that with Chisenhall in Detroit, he misplayed a ball and it got by him.
Well, Napoli had one to mash, fouled it back.
Well, another opportunity to get one home.
By the way, we were talking about Kip and Lindor and the pace they're on this year. How about Mike Napoli? 17 homers, 55 RBIs through 76 games this year. That was first reported by Jordan Bastion of MLB.com. Indians haven't had a right-handed batter get to 17 and 55 prior to the All-Star break since Juan Gonzalez in 2001.
Wow. What a year that was for him. Well, every walk that he has to this point, that was his fourth. The first 3 have scored. And that's going to do it for Sanchez again. Another rough outing against the Indians. And this is his 4th start against them this year. And he'll be walking off down 5-0 at this point.
He leaves with 1 out in the 5th inning. And the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen for Buck Farmer has been made, with the Indians up 5-0. The unorthodox double play that got the Indians out of trouble. And then the Lindor smash that Moya misplayed, couldn't come up with it. I mean, Francisco Lindor was almost at third base
Right.
when that throw went to.
I know.
That's a triple. Come
Yeah,
on, folks.
that's okay. They'll look at it again. We got time. It's like replay anymore. Don't worry about it. It'll get changed.
Buck Farmer on for the 10th time this year. Indians at first and third with one out. And Jose Ramirez, the batter, he walked and scored in the second. He singled and scored in the fourth. And he takes up high, ball one. Boy, Kansas City's getting hammered by Toronto again. 7-2 Blue Jays. That was R.A. Dickey chucking the knuckleball for Toronto.
Looking for his first win in the Dome.
Yeah, that's right. They're in the 6th inning right now at the Rogers Center. Up high. Yankees lead the White Sox 2-0 in the second in Chicago. A little bit outside, and it's 3-1. Ramirez on the 3-1 pitch, tried to pull it on the hole. Kinsler flagged it down, and he just did get Ramirez for out number 2, but Lindor scores, and the Indians now lead it 6-0. So 2 in the second, 2 in the fourth, 2 more here in the fifth. And Napoli moving into scoring position on the ground out by Ramirez, who picks up his 33rd RBI.
Yeah, when you get those guys to third base in less than 2 outs and you don't have to get a base hit to get them in, you can hit ground balls. That's beautiful. It's a nice thing to do offensively.
Lonnie Chisenhall 2 for 2, single, double, RBI, run scored.
Yeah, he had a big hit last inning where he pulled his hands in and hit a double down the right field line.
And there's a line drive base hit in the alley. That'll go to the wall. Napoli scores. Chisenhall on his way to second. He'll stop there with a 2-out RBI double. 7-0 Cleveland.
Boy, Lonnie 3 for 3 tonight. Every walk that Sanchez made tonight had been able to come around and score, and Napoli was the 4th one. There's a clutch hit again by Chisenhall. His 2nd straight double to drive in a run. And boy, the Indians this year, they have just pounded Detroit as far as the extra base hits go. They have 21 doubles, 8 triples, 15 homers, make it 44 extra base hits. Detroit has 17 on the season. So, I mean, any way you look at it, they have just dominated.
Now Rajay Davis, he's driven in 2 runs already tonight. RBI double in the second and a sac fly in the fourth.
It's funny how a little walk started everything in this game for him tonight.
Every
2nd,
inning.
4th, and 5th, it sure did. They have not hit a ball out of the ballpark, but they have 7 runs on 6 hits.
Strike called. Davis went fishing, strikes out to end the inning. But the Indians keep pouring it on against Detroit. An RBI triple, an RBI double. They're up 7-0. In the second inning, Rajai Davis with an RBI double. Plated Jose Ramirez. Ground out, got him another run, and Lonnie Chisenhall with an RBI double in the fourth. Sac fly got him another run that inning. Then in the fifth, they blew it open. Lindor with an RBI triple, Chisenhall an RBI double. And they lead it 7-0. Carlos Carrasco with a first pitch strike to Ian Kinsler.
Kinsler's seen 4 pitches tonight. All 4 have been strikes. Last night they pounded it. I think he only saw 2 balls. And he has done a number with the big boys in this lineup. Just pounded the strike zone.
Just missed inside. And Kinsler draws a leadoff walk. Second inning in a row. Detroit's leadoff man has reached via the free pass.
Well, pregame in the district from 5 to 7 on Friday before the Tribe takes on the Yankees. You can enjoy $2 Miller Lite cans plus Sugardale Dollar Dogs all night long. Postgame fireworks presented by Wayside Furniture. And it's going to be a fun weekend with the Yankees coming to town. Just go to Indians.com and you can get your tickets. And you better hurry because there's not many left.
Cameron Maybin takes a fastball for a strike. And that's called a strike, although that same pitch to Ian Kinsler just a few moments ago was called a ball. 0-2 on Maybin, who has struck out twice tonight. Almost chased after it. At the knees, strike 3 called, and that's number 5 for Carrasco. And Cameron Maybin already has the hat trick.
Yes, he does. A couple of them looking. The first and now here. It's going to be our Circle K strikeout. Fastball right there. Down, had the zone. He realized it. He'll go back for the 3rd time tonight.
Miguel Cabrera 0 for 2. Struck out on the first. He popped up on the infield in the 4th. He takes 2-0. I don't know what he said to Carrasco, but this guy has so much fun playing the game. Look at him. He wants to hit the ball as Carrasco is throwing it back into the catcher to get rid of it, and he threw it right to Cabrera. He said, "Here, I'll hit it."
You're right. He plays out there. He plays as loose as anybody that's in a uniform.
I think he said something about that pitch, you know, being low or that breaking ball. He said, "Here, throw it here. Oh, I'm going to hit it." Three and 0 the count. Believe it or not, this is not what Carrasco wants to do. As dangerous as Cabrera is, he'd rather challenge him. He doesn't want to put him on base. Not with a 7-run lead.
Well, he was taken all the way, and rightfully so.
Pulls it to 3rd.
Off his foot.
Ramirez to 2nd. They don't. Oh, it was foul. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
watching the
wait a
action on
minute.
the
Wait a
field.
minute.
What do we have here? Do we have a?
The umpire didn't say foul ball. Now
Or
wait
did he?
a minute. Cabrera was acting like he did, and I don't think Baker called a foul ball. So is he safe or out
don't
at
know.
2nd?
Did anybody make a call on the field?
No, I didn't see it. They want to check at 2nd. Now they're looking into the Indians dugout to say check and see if he was out at 2nd base before he got there. I think Baker said that was not a foul ball, and it didn't hit his foot and go ahead and play. So this is going to be interesting.
I'm not sure if this is a play you can challenge.
See, well, they're gonna meet. You're right. It's in front of the umpires. You can't challenge
Yeah.
it. But
Pretty sure it hit.
he's saying,
Cabrera's
look at
leg.
Cabrera's saying right now it hit his shin or he's down on the foot. It
Oh,
did.
yeah, clearly.
No doubt it went off his leg. No doubt. Now, did one umpire see it? I don't know, because that's not reviewable, correct?
I don't think that is. I'd have to check. You know, plays in front of the umpire.
Normally, you can't do it when it's.
But you can challenge, like if a guy's hit by a pitch,
Right.
You can challenge that.
Right.
But this would not. I don't think this would be a play.
Well, they're going over it. The umpires. Let's see what happens.
Foul ball. No,
He's out.
He is called out.
No,
at
they're
first.
saying it didn't go off his leg. And now Cabrera's really upset, and he doesn't argue. So I got to tell you, he is upset, and rightfully so. That ball went off his leg, and the umpires met.
He had to roll up his pant leg and show him the evidence.
Yeah. Here's where I'm going to go ice afterwards.
He's been thrown out of the game. He has just been ejected.
And, well, he's frustrated, and rightfully so. He's getting his point across. They're not saying a word.
It was Tim Timmons, the first base umpire, who ran him. And now Brad Ausmus is down there. He may end up going the same way as Cabrera.
Well, you know, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Why not?
The way this game has gone, down 7 runs.
They obviously you can't review it. So, and Cabrera's right. That ball went off his leg, so he's going to have his say.
So
he
they
never
they did not get the force on Kinsler. He was safe at second. But Cabrera never ran, and because the umpires didn't see the ball go off his leg,
so it goes
he
is
out at first.
It goes 5-4-3 on the out at first.
Yeah.
There it is, right off his shin. He'll have time to go ice now. And he's showing he's upset. Look at the umpires. Look at he let him have his say one time, but Cabrera really upset, frustrated. And you know what? I think he just wants to leave a little early. It's a noon game tomorrow. He is upset, and rightfully so.
So Kinsler's at second with 2 down. And Victor Martinez is the batter. Well, that's another. So we've had 2 strange scoring plays in this game. The old 4-6-5 double play, and now a 5-4-3 put out at first base.
You know, you would think that maybe I can see if one umpire doesn't see it. The home plate umpire, he needs help.
See, he's usually the guy that sees that because he hears it.
But you're calling balls and strikes, and when it goes off your shin like that, he's going to sometimes need some help.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't know how the third base umpire, who probably would have had the best view, I don't know how he could have even seen it go off the front of the shin. That's got to be tough to see that.
You would think 1 out of the 4 might be able to see it.
And a ground ball trying to beat the shift. He will, and that's going to get a run home for Detroit. So Martinez plates Kinsler with a 2-out RBI single, and it's a 7-1 ball game.
Well, and actually it's the hustle by Kinsler that really gets him on the board, because he hustled on that ball off Cabrera's leg. And then with the playing in shallow right and playing him to pull, he finds it in the right field. Victor gets an RBI single.
And if Kinsler's not at second base,
That
Lindor's on the other side of the bag, and he might have been closer to make the play on that ball. One little nuance to that shift: when you get a runner at second base, somebody's got to keep him from just bolting to third. Justin Upton 1 for 2 with a single. Down the right field line, Lonnie Chisenhall into foul ground, and that's out of play.
Well, there you see the number of pitches. How about a 6-pitch 4th inning? How nice was that? But he's only at 81. He's allowed 3 hits again tonight.
Upton with a ground ball, hard hit. Lindor with a great stop. Goes to first. Got him! Oh, baby, what a play by the all-star shortstop. Lindor with an all-out diving stop, but then still got to his feet and made an accurate throw to Napoli to retire Upton and end the inning. Miguel Cabrera at first base. After Miguel Cabrera was ejected, Tyler Naquin taking a called strike. Naquin drives the ball deep right field. Moya back. He's out of room. It's out of here. Home run number 7 for Tyler Naquin. 8-1 Cleveland.
Well, I'll tell you, Naquin hits a breaking ball and it's down. Boom, there it goes. He loves it. He knew it too as soon as he hit it. That ball gets out of here. A solo home run is 7th. And they come right back and answer that run again.
Now here's Yan Gomes, 0 for 2 tonight. Swing and a miss.
It's the first home run for the Indians tonight. They're 104th on the year.
And a pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Popped him up. Foul ground. Romine puts it away, 1 away. Let's go back and take another look at that spectacular play by Lindor. This is,
I'll tell you, it's amazing. He comes up. I think he had to play at second as well, but he had in his mind, I'm getting up quickly. I'm going to one-hop it. That's his play. He one-hops it there better than anybody and makes it look easy. He gets enough on it. You see the nice true hop you get, and it's right there easy for Napoli to catch.
and that's not a lumbering catcher he threw out at first base. That's Justin Upton.
I'll tell you what, that's not an easy play, folks, and he's making it look easy.
Santana goes down on a pitch that was up and a little bit in. I don't think that was a head hunting pitch.
No, you know what? I'll tell you what. As the Indians, the way they've been beating the Tigers, the way they've been hitting them, I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner. Move your feet, get them out of your toe hold. They have done a lot of damage to the Tigers, and 4 homers in a game, 4 triples in a game back there, and those guys are still digging in. It doesn't surprise me.
Well, how about these numbers? In the 11 games that these two teams have played this year, Detroit's starting pitchers have worked 49 innings and given up 53 earned runs.
There you go.
We talk about it's not a good sign if a starting pitcher gives up more hits than innings pitched, let alone more earned runs than innings pitched.
Hey, when you're getting beat like the Tigers are by the Indians, these guys are looking way too comfortable.
Santana draws the walk.
But you see, after he knocked him out of his toe hold, he couldn't do anything with it. He ends up walking. And every walk tonight, they have scored. Well, you can bring the kids to the ballpark Sunday for KeyBank Kids Fun Day. 5,000 fans, 12 and under, will receive the WB Mason toy truck. Plus, young fans, you can also run the bases post-game thanks to the Cleveland Clinic's children. Visit Indians.com for more details.
Jason Kipnis, 0 for 3 today. And Kipnis has hit in every game on this 12-game home win streak. Down low. little bit outside. Three and one to count.
Yeah, it's making it worse. Buck Farmer now starting to pitch from behind in the count. The Unions 8 runs. They only have 7 hits.
And that's ball 4. So back-to-back walks by Farmer. And out goes the pitching coach, going to bring up Lindor. So we were talking before about the leadoff walks and how that has fueled the Indians' run here this evening. 2 of those were leadoff walks. And you know, there's an old theory that if you walk the leadoff man, he's going to come around and score.
Well, it gives a better possibility, sure, if it's a leadoff walk.
At one time, Tim McCarver said during a national telecast that he used to tell pitchers, every time you walk the leadoff man, he always comes around and score. Now, I'm sure Tim was just using that to make a point.
Right.
I'm sure there's a little hyperbole involved. However, there's a guy named Dan Smith of Retro Sheet. He went back and did the research on this deal, and I thought it was kind of interesting. From 1974 through 2002, he went through every box score. When the leadoff guy is walked, comes around to score 40% of the time.
Okay.
That's still pretty high. It's not every time.
Right. But you want guys to think it is. I mean,
you want to scare your pitchers into thinking that.
Right. So 40% of the time, that makes sense.
More importantly, Arch, for a pitching coach, he also found that when the leadoff hitter makes an out, a scoreless inning results 84% of the time.
I like those odds better.
You know, that's why.
So in other words, force him to hit his way on, not walk him.
Yep.
And if he gets a hit, then he's going to have a chance to score anyway. But you don't give up free passes, and that's why the game of ones continues in baseball. Strike one, first out, first run.
Yep.
That's what everybody believes in.
You get that first out in an inning.
Pretty good chance, yes. That's good. 84%, huh?
Now that was from 1974 through 2002, but that's a lot of data. That's a ton of box scores. That's a ton of games.
Yep.
So I'd say those are pretty standard numbers. Here tonight, the Tigers, remember, they had a leadoff walk, back-to-back walks to start the 5th. Did not score. Carrasco was able to work out of it. Lindor pops this one up foul, and over to take a look is Aviles, but can't get to it. Still 7-2, Toronto leading Kansas City. They're in the bottom of the 7th at the Rogers Center, and the Blue Jays threatening with the bases loaded. The Yankees have opened up a 5-0 lead over the White Sox in the 4th inning in Chicago. 1-2 pitch to Lindor. Back out of play. Yeah.
With the smiles.
Yes, sir. She got a great souvenir to take home.
Yes, she does. Good for her.
Down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, when you look at Farmer since he's been in the ball game for Sanchez coming on in the 5th inning, 32 pitches, 17 have been balls, so he's thrown more balls than strikes, only 15 strikes. A tough way to go. Tough way to get major leaguers out when you're pitching from behind in the count. You're just giving them more opportunity, and they don't have to chase your good pitches. They can spit on it.
Well, the Indians lead at 8-1. They've got 2 on and 1 out. And that's ball 4. He's walked 3 in a row to load the bases.
Now, that's not going to endear yourself to the manager. What do? There's nothing you can do to defend it. And when you're a defender, you're standing out there and your pitcher's doing that. flat-footed. You're saying, come on, let's go, man. We're down 8-1. Let him swing the bat. You know, let us turn a double play. We've got one out. Get him to hit a ground ball.
Ian Kinsler knows a thing or two about Mike Napoli. Might have been trying to give Farmer a little advice. Don't throw it down the middle.
Keep it in the yard. This guy, he swings the bat pretty well in this ballpark, so good luck.
Well, and Napoli's already walked twice and scored 2 runs tonight. Bases loaded, 1 out. And he takes a strike. This was last night in the 7th off a 90, I think it was 96.
96. Yes, it was. It was the party at Knapp's house right there. That swing gives the Indians a lead. They were able to hold on.
Popped up, back, out of play.
Right now, he has an 0-2 count. Now he can go to work and try and expand and get a swing and miss here. You can see in his career 6 grand slams.
Fly ball, left field. Upton can't get there. It's going to drop. Santana will score. Everybody else moves up 1 base. 9-1 Cleveland. Napoli with his 56th run batted in on the year.
Well, he got up top. I'll tell you what, he hit a ball. He didn't hit it hard, but boy, when you have 2 strikes, this was about neck high, right at the bottom of his beard. Look at that. Boom. He gets it down, boy. He got some top hand on it. That ball hit down around the trademark, but look at the job he does of tomahawking that baseball.
It's a beard shot right there.
Yeah, it is. And bloops it in, so another run will score. One of the walks.
And here now is Jose Ramirez. Chases a ball down low.
Like a little change up there by Farmer.
Ramirez walked and scored in the 2nd, singled and scored in the 4th, an RBI ground out in the 5th. Fouled off down the left side.
Well, you know, when you're out there and you're struggling, there's no help, man. When you turn around, you look at a bullpen and nobody's up except the team's, the other team's jersey.
Yeah, that's the Indians bullpen. There's
Right.
nobody in the Tigers bullpen.
It's your game, son. You got to give me some innings. I don't care if you walk them or not. I can't blow out my bullpen. We've got a 12 o'clock game tomorrow.
Already the 40th pitch by Farmer, and that's way out of the strike zone.
Watch him get up top on his ball, and it was up around the chin area. That's tough to do. And he put it in play and ended up getting a base hit on. How many times have we seen him swinging this into high fastballs this year? That's one time he was able to get on top of it.
Ramirez taps one slowly to Kinsler. He flips it to second. They'll get the out there, 2 down. The run scores as Kipnis crosses home plate. He scored a pair of runs tonight. Ramirez will pick up his 2nd RBI this evening, give him 34 now on the year, and it's 10-1 Cleveland.
Okay, so they've walked 7 times. We told you that. 6 of the 7 have scored, and that 7th run is on 3rd base as far as the walks go. So Ramirez in his last 2 at-bats is grounded to 2nd base and has 2 RBIs to show for it.
Well, Lonnie Chisenhall is a perfect 3 for 3 with 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. It's been a 30-pitch inning for Buck Farmer. Lonnie swings through it. 0-2. Missed inside. Now Farmer ready with a 1-2. Lonnie pops it up on the infield, and the inning is over. Indians plate 3 more. Tyler Naquin started it with a leadoff homer. And it's 10-1 Cleveland. The Injury Lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By Ford, built Ford tough. And by KeyBank. Use the red key. Member FDIC. Cleveland leads it, 7th inning. Carlos Carrasco's night is over. He went 6. And he allowed 1 run on just 3 hits. And he struck out 5. Walked a couple.
Oh, nice, efficient, tidy outing for Carrasco. Now you can get that bullpen some work. 10-1 ball game.
Dan Otero facing Steven Moya here in the 7th. Misses down low. Fastball at the knees for a strike. A little bit low. There you go. He just watched it go by, and that's strikeout number 6 for Indians pitching. 1 down in the 7th. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Then you're going to see Carlos again using that, you know, whether we call it a 2-seamer, sometimes a changeup, but he can He had a little bit of a slider, a better slider tonight than he's had in the past, and that also came into play in his 5 strikeouts. Maybin went down 3 times. 2 of them were called. But like I said, only 3 hits. They scored the last run and the only run in the 6th inning because of a Kinsler hustle on the one play that went off of Cabrera's leg that was not called. And Martinez got a base hit to drive him home with 2 outs.
Now the 1-1. Aviles watches it over the outside corner. Bouncing ball to first. Napoli goes himself. 2 down. We're swinging into summer again tomorrow, and it's a early start time, 11:30 a.m. for Indians Live with Alan Jensen. First pitch at noon right here on Sports Time Ohio. You can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Swing into summer presented by Miller Lite. So don't forget, tomorrow, noon Eastern, we'll wrap up the series with Detroit.
Noon Eastern, and there's a party at Al's house tonight. Forgot to tell you.
Party at Pulowski's.
Yes, it is. For the noon game.
I think we've got a new T-shirt. Fastball strike over the outside corner to James McCann, who was flied out twice tonight. Fouled into Yan Gomes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just missed the outside corner. Dan Otero certainly has been a terrific addition to this Indians bullpen. Every year you go to spring training, there's guys on the roster that try to win a job, and he's one that has come on and has pitched some big innings, and his role seems to be getting more and more important. Strikes out a pair here in the 7th, stretch time. Tribe Roland. up 10-1 on Detroit. Defensively now, Jared Saltalamacchia takes over at first base, and Andrew Romine, who was at first, moves over to second base. So Ian Kinsler gets the rest of this one off with a noon game coming tomorrow.
Yeah, you like saying that, don't you? Saltalamacchia. How'd you like to have to sign that autograph?
Ooh. Is there a guy with a longer last name?
I
in
don't
baseball?
think so. I do not think so. He is the. He's the winner.
I think Zubchinski would be harder to sign over and over
Yeah.
again, but Saltalamacchia, more letters.
I want to know how many of those letters are eligible or you can read. Legible.
Rajay Davis has his second hit of the night. Arch, it's time to take a look at a T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball.
All righty.
Larry Doby, two-time home run champion. He was, as I said at the top of our telecast, he was second to Jackie Robinson, but he was a pioneer in many respects.
You know, and Frank Robinson was the first African-American manager here who's inducted into the Indians Hall of Fame. Larry was over in 1978, went to the White Sox,
Yeah.
where he was traded and for Tito Francona.
Well, here's the interesting thing about that. Larry Doby was signed by the Indians July 2nd, 1947. He was traded to the White Sox in 55. Then in 57, they traded him to Baltimore. Chicago traded him to Baltimore for Tito Francona. And then in 58, Baltimore traded him back to Cleveland. And in 59, the Indians traded him to Detroit for Tito Francona. So how about that? Larry Doby and Tito Francona were traded for each other twice.
That's incredible.
And we're talking about the real Tito Francona.
Yes, not
Terry's
just Tito.
father.
That's exactly right. The original, senior.
And if he's watching over New Brighton tonight, hello, Tito.
Yes. I haven't seen him here this summer yet. Tito, you're missing a good time.
Oh, I'm sure he's tuning in every night.
I know he'll be here on the 27th of July. Guarantee you that.
In between ball games, he makes a run to the hot dog shop in New Brighton.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
The dad, Tito, will be here the 27th for the Indians golf outing in July.
Oh, that's right. That's coming up.
He always drives up for the day.
Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Tyler Naquin strikes out, one away. I don't know if Tito makes the drive himself. I think his buddy, Mr. Ferrello, will come over from Beaver Falls, pick him up, and he'll drive him in.
Absolutely. He comes up and they come up and have a good day.
It's always a great time if you want to be involved. Check out the Indians website, Indians.com, for the Indians charity golf outing.
Always a good day. A lot of golfers. We use 2 courses.
Quail Hollow.
Yep.
Beautiful setup.
The Weiskopf and the Devlin course are used.
Lots of fun celebrities show up, and alumni. And guys from all over Cleveland sports scene will be there. Roped foul.
That kid
Nice
caught it.
grab.
I'll tell you, he pinned it against the fence. He brought the glove, and the young man pinned it and ended up catching it. The Tiger fan, nice play, young man.
How did that young Tiger fan get down in the front row?
I don't know, but he makes a nice play. Maybe that's how.
Oh, my.
The ricochet.
That's the play of the year right there.
Very nice.
Off
Look
the
at
carom.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't realize it was in the glove.
It's probably too young for that to be his girlfriend.
No,
but
it's not. He's got one now after that catch.
Yeah, I do this all the time. Ground ball to third, a second for one on to first. It's a double play. 7 in the books. 10-1 Cleveland. and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. And it's a night that the Indians have owned 10-1, 8th inning. Mike Clevenger back with the Big League Ball Club. He had called up yesterday. We saw him earlier this year as a starter. He will go back to AAA and resume starting at the end of this homestand. But for now, they want to get a look at him out of the bullpen. Also, he's a guy that if they need some length, they know he can give them multiple innings. And so for right now, Clevenger's going to pitch out of the pen. And if this goes well, maybe down the road. The phone to the bullpen is not working.
Okay.
So the umpire's letting both teams know that the Tigers' phone isn't working. Not much else is working for them either right now.
In today's world, why don't they just have a cell phone in the dugout and go out there and say, hey, get this guy up? Why do they have to go from the dugout?
I don't think that's allowed.
Why not?
Not allowed to have a cell phone.
That's true. Yeah, right. Tell those fans that are sitting down there texting all night.
But back to my point about Clevenger. If Terry and Mickey in the front office, if they can see this guy able to throw strikes in a relief role, I think that maybe later this year, if they need some help in the bullpen, this could be a guy that they could tap into and help him out.
Well,
but they still see him long term as a starter.
I totally understand that, but there's nothing wrong with he has a good arm, and he's got a nice fastball, a nice curveball, and a nice changeup. You know, I've talked to a couple scouts that saw him with his first start in Minnesota. As a matter of fact, he's in the park tonight. He says, I really like the way that kid pitched in his first game. You know, he went into the 5th inning. I'm not sure he went 5. I don't recall right now, but
off-speed pitch fouled back. Look, we've seen so many players over the years, first time up in the big leagues, compared to maybe their 3rd or 4th time up, they don't look like the same guy. You know, it might take some guys a time or two to figure it all out.
So true.
To get used to the surroundings, the environment. Lindor puts on the Jets and runs it down. Let's go down to Andre with more on Clevenger.
Well, you guys always talk about 2 sports stars or guys that played 3 sports. How about this for Mike Clevenger? He had a chance for a professional skateboarding contract at the age of 18 as he was growing up in Florida. The other thing that I would tell you is there's a Detroit Tiger running out to the bullpen since the phone isn't working.
Yeah.
The other thing about Clevenger, and maybe this plays into what you guys were talking about, before he was sent down the last time, he said he was finally comfortable here. He finally felt like he was meant to be here. He said his first couple of starts, you know, he would go out there, he couldn't feel his arms, couldn't feel his legs, or couldn't believe he was there. He said he was finally getting comfortable. So maybe this second time through, we could see more of the real Mike Clevenger.
Yeah, you know, you get to meet the guys. You get to see what the routine is up here and how you act and what goes on. Let's hope so. You know, we don't know if it's going to be longer than this week.
Andre, I know you to be a confident young man, but let me ask you, the first day you stepped on the field at the University of Akron, did you feel like you belonged?
Nope.
Well, I mean, that's the kind of thing. For Mike Clevenger, it may take a little while to feel like, okay, I can do this. I'm not in over my head.
No, you see that with all these younger guys. You know, it makes complete sense the way you go about it. Even in high school, when you first time you play JV varsity, it's a bigger step every time.
Yeah.
And I think when you come to the big leagues and you're 60 foot 6 inches from some of these hitters, I definitely understand not feeling like you're comfortable.
It happens to everyone. It doesn't matter how good you are. Just it takes time for you to believe that I can pitch here or I can play here.
Man, did I say University of Akron? My bad, Andre. Kent State.
No, he's not talking to you anymore. He says, heck with you.
Oh, wow. How did I do that? My bad.
You go. He's not talking to you ever again.
Golden Flashes
Andre,
Nation.
come sit with me on the plane. Come on, pal.
Wow. I won't be welcome back at Kent State anymore. Not that I ever was to begin with.
No.
Here's the 3-2 to Salty.
You know, he didn't even correct you.
Maybe that says more about him than it does about me. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still. It's St. V. That's how it's all about. Him and Stams. It's all about the St. V. And the payoff pitch. A little bit high.
Stepping in for Detroit.
That'll bring up Cameron Maybin.
He's had a tough night to this point. Striking out 3 times against Carlos Carrasco.
Smacked on the ground to short.
That's
Lindor
a bad night.
has an easy double play to end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Indians by 9. Keep the big guys on ice, and that's what they've done. And they hit just about everything Sanchez threw at them, and they took advantage of the walks. Sanchez walked 4, all 4 scored, right, Arch?
Yeah, that's correct.
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 of the 7 walks scored tonight for the Indians.
So here in the 8th inning, new pitcher for Detroit is Mark Lowe.
Back up to the top of the lineup for the Indians: Santana, Kipnis, Lindor.
Santana, a couple of walks. Yeah, he has scored a run tonight. It's that well, deep left center field. Upton looking up. Goodbye. Home run number 19 for Carlos Santana.
Boy, how about that? How many do you see Carlos hit to left center field?
Not many.
No, but he smoked that ball. What a swing he put on that baseball. Number 19. Man, that was a really nice swing there. 19 homers already. We're not at the break for Santana. He's picked up the pace, hasn't he?
You know, I've never really thought of him as necessarily being a streaky hitter, but you know when he gets into a good groove that he can ride it.
Like any hitter, but I mean, we see him a lot of times on the pull side, but boy, there's times, and it's in there within him when he goes the opposite way, whether right-handed or left-handed. It's really a nice swing. And you would hope that he could do that more consistently.
9 homers in his last 22 games.
Yeah, he's been on fire.
What the Indians have done a good job of this year is jumping on first pitch mistakes. That's their 26th of the year. Tied for Baltimore, or tied with Baltimore for the most in baseball.
Gotcha.
And, you know, I've had conversations with guys about that. It's not necessarily a, you know, any big conspiracy or any big, you know, secret game plan. It's just that, you know, like Matt Cottrell was saying, there was a time when guys were maybe taught to be selective and take some pitches and work the count. Remember back in the days of the AL East, you play the Yankees and the Red Sox, and my God, they ground your starting pitchers down to a nub because it was take. They wanted to get into the bullpen. As the bullpens have emerged and become a source of strength for just about every club, now the game plan is switched. Now the game plan is get that starter early, because if the bullpen comes in, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
So guys are being a little more aggressive. If they see a pitch early in the count, first pitch, whatever, and they like it, they're getting after it.
And you know who? Tampa did that. We talked about them doing it. They've hit a lot of home runs this year, and they've changed their philosophy.
Kipnis swats one to deep right. That's going to short out the wall. And he's going to go into second base with a double, and he's going to keep his home hitting streak alive at 13.
Does it on the last at-bat of the night. And again, he drives it to the pull side, because why? They're trying to pitch him inside there. Made a mistake up in the zone, and Kip turned on it. He gets his 16th double, and they continue to rack up the extra base hits.
Now Francisco Lindor. He had the big hit in the 5th inning. Scored a double. It drove in a run. They said he went to third on the throw. We both thought it should have been a triple. This one's hit the right, but right at Moya. 1 away. Well, the Tribe will take on the Yankees Saturday. It's a game you'll only see on FS1. In other words, we will not be televising Saturday afternoon. So if you want to watch the Indians and the Yankees battle on Saturday, make sure you've got FS1 at home. And then on Baseball Night in America, Cubs Pirates at 7 on your local Fox station. Or you can also watch it live on Fox Sports Go. More and more people are using the app. All you have to do is go to your app store, download it, and you can take the Indians ball game with you wherever you go.
Yes, he did.
Strike one on Mike Napoli, who has walked twice, singled. He's driven in a run, and he scored 2. It's a final in Toronto. Blue Jays beat Kansas City 8-3. So the Indians need to get 3 more outs, and they will have opened up a pretty sizable lead in the division. It'll be 8 games in the loss column. Yankees still lead the White Sox 6-0. They're in the 6th in Chicago. Outside, good eye.
This has been a game where that Tigers defense has spent a lot of time out in the field. Indians scoring in 5 of the 8 innings. 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 1 here in the 8th.
The 2-2. Just inside, full count.
You know the thing I'm noticing here too, they're not giving up any at bats. They're making this.
What does that tell you? What does that?
It tells me that they're concentrating. Let's go. You're gonna have to work to get me out. It's easy to give up at bats in games like this, but they're not giving up any.
Napoli.
And even when they try to give up one, he's going to get a hit. I mean, that's just a case where everything's going your way. And Knapp, he's been on base 4 out of the 5 times tonight. 2nd straight single. That's a perfect bunt right there. Swinging bunt.
And not giving up an at bat is not embarrassing your opponent. If anything, you earn respect.
I'll tell you what. Yes, you do. You know what? Those guys, that's a tough team, they're going to say, because they're not just going to go swing at any pitch. And that's what I mean by it, because as a player, the key is to learn not to give up at bats, because that can cost you over the course of the whole year, regardless of what the score is, whether you're up 11-1, whether you're down 11-1. It's easy to give up at bats, but when you grind them out and you get after it, boy, that says a lot about you.
I thought it was pretty cool too this afternoon when Michael Brantley was taking batting practice on the field. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so there were only a few people here.
Right.
Mike Napoli was hitting with him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Popped up, foul ground. Looks like it's playable here. Aviles near the railing, makes the grab. 2 down. And up comes Lonnie Chisenhall. And there is Dr. Smooth. His dad, Mickey, was down there taking in Michael's BP sessions. And somebody said, how long are you staying in town? As long as it takes.
Yeah, he usually is around. There's no doubt. But we haven't seen him a lot this year. At least I haven't.
Pulled foul by Lonnie. Play. 0-2 the count. The other thing too that I thought was interesting, people who are watching the Michael swing today, you're caught up in what you're seeing. And what Chris Antonetti said is, like, I'm not concerned with what I'm seeing. I knew I was going to see him swing the bat and do it. I'm more concerned with how's he going to feel tomorrow. Is he okay to keep going forward? There's a line drive base hit for Chisenhall in the right field, and Mike Sarbaugh is going to wave home Kipnis. And the throw is cut off.
Lonnie, man, his 4th hit of the game. Had 5 in Toronto. Boy, he is putting it together.
And his 3rd RBI tonight.
He is putting it together. That's 13 hits now for the Indians, and number 4 tonight. So they keep going, just like I'm talking about. Hey, let's go. I'm going to let the next guy hit. And when you're swinging the bats like this is fun. You want to keep on hitting. Let me see, who's starting tomorrow? Tomlin? He's probably saying, can you save a few of these for tomorrow?
It's Tomlin and Michael Fulmer, who's been a real blessing for the Tigers this year.
Yes, he has.
Rajai Davis, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. And that hit the pitcher low. Saltalamacchia flips it over,
heck of
and
a
they
play.
beat him to the bag to end the inning.
That's a heck of a play to stay on with that ball.
So that's going to go 1-3-1.
Yes.
At least I think that's the way they'll score it. Off the ricochet. 12-1 Cleveland.
The field over here in the corner along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Boy, a lot of offense tonight. 12 runs scored by the Indians. But how about Lonnie Chisenhall? Last Friday he gets 5 hits up in Toronto. Tonight 4 hits against the Tigers.
I would say he's figured it out since June 21st. He's hitting over 430, double digits in RBIs, and I think a steadying force now in the back of this lineup. Everybody talks about where is that extra bat going to be in the absence of Michael Brantley. I think he may have turned a corner.
All right, more fun stats and analysis like that coming up on Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Right after this one, back upstairs. Here are Matt and Rick, guys.
Thanks, Al. Jensen. Mike Clevenger trying to finish this off for the Tribe. Worked a scoreless 8th. Andrew Romine's first at bat tonight. Seemed like a long time ago that Miguel Cabrera was ejected from this game, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, he was smart. He knew it was going to happen. You look at it after 8 innings. Cleveland pitching staff, 110 pitches. Detroit, 167. Oof.
Outside. Out of play. 19,448 the attendance here tonight. Big crowds expected over the weekend for the Yankee series. Weekly tap. Clevenger on the move. Nobody to throw to.
Nice play.
And he beat him to the bag with a dive.
I'll tell you, there's the skateboarder in him. He got over there and he picked it, got back up on the board and went to slide into first. Pretty athletic play because he was looking for Napoli over there, and he realized, uh-oh, you're not there. Let me kick it into gear and beat him. Nice play on the slide. Huh? Beautiful. They can go look at it all they want. He got his foot to the base before Romine did. Heads up play. Give him a little breather. Nice job.
Not the way you want to teach it for your pitchers.
No, but I'll tell you what, that's okay. Nice play. He realized, you know, he was going to flip it, then realized he better cover it himself because nobody was there.
You called it, though. That's the skateboarder in him.
Uh-huh.
If you're into skateboarding, he's fallen a time or two, believe me.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting a few knees and had a few stitches, I'm sure.
How many times you see a pitcher with dirt on his knee, man, like he's sliding? That's beautiful. Tony, you got to do that uniform tonight and get it ready for tomorrow.
The 1-0. Oh, I'm sure Marty and Frankie, and they'll be down there scrubbing them up.
Sure they will. They'll be ready to rock and roll, man.
Be pearly white tomorrow.
But pitchers? Yeah. Boy, everybody's getting into the action tonight.
It's interesting with Clevenger, you watch him, he pitches essentially out of the stretch, but he's like a fit of motion. It's like he never stops. It's just a little kick and then a little move. Well, that one time was a little quicker. Almost like a quick pitch right there. Moving that leg around.
Uh-huh.
Trying to get on
Okay,
page.
Gomes wanted fastball. He said, no, I wanted the breaking ball, and he walked him. He wanted the changeup. Gomes went twice with the fastball. He went fastball away. He didn't go. Fastball in. He didn't go. Gomes put down the changeup, and he ended up walking him.
I think Victor, I wonder if Victor was upset that he quick pitched him. I think he's upset about it. Yeah, he looks like he's not happy. Justin Upton fouls one straight back. I don't want to make more about this than needs to be, but I'm trying to figure out what got under Victor's skin there.
I don't know. 3-1 changeup.
He's talking to Mike Napoli now. I don't know. But you know what? As you know, man, that could be an old school moment, though, where you get a couple of veteran players, Victor saying something to Napoli, and then quietly Napoli might say something to Mike Clevenger.
Well, he'll relay the message or whatever's going on. You're absolutely right.
If that's what this is about, I don't know.
I'm thinking 12-1, whatever the score is. You're sitting up there, and you're going to throw a 3-1 changeup. That would be my guess. I don't think the quick pitch was anything, was it? I really didn't notice it, to be honest with you.
Upton leans into one, but he pulls it foul. It's just after he walked him, after it was ball 4, Victor stared at him as he walked down the first baseline. I thought, well, that was kind of strange.
Ooh, are you afraid to throw it's got to be a fastball there. That would be my guess. I didn't really notice it until you brought it up, but that would be my guess.
Yeah.
You afraid to throw me a fastball? It's 12-1. Let's go, challenge me.
The pitch in the dirt gets away, and down to second goes Victor. Wild pitch puts Martinez at second base, and 1 out in the 9th.
You don't know who the umpire is, right? You don't know replay umpire, right? I do not. I think he gets texted. Oh, so that's true.
Clevenger ready with a 1-2. In the dirt. Payoff pitch is a foul ball.
Wow, I think he was sort of messed up on which way to point.
Yeah, Tim Timmons was spinning around.
Yeah, he had to spin around. He was going to point that way, but that would have been fair, so he had to wait and slow it down. It didn't miss by much.
Now Clevenger with the 3-2 pitch to Upton again. And a line drive base hit into center field. Victor Martinez will make it to third. He'll stop there. Two on with 1 out, and Steven Moya will be the batter.
Now at bat for the Tigers, number 33, Steven Moya.
And a strike is called. Moya 0 for 2. Couple of strikeouts. He walked. One ball, 1 strike. This is a weird atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're up 11. The crowd's just kind of going, okay.
Well, yeah, and then you walk somebody, you give up a base hit, and they're waiting for it. They want the game over.
It's just usually when it's this quiet, the score's the other way around. You know, you're usually getting your tail kicked, but it's almost like the fans say, no, we're so far ahead, maybe we shouldn't cheer. We should just maybe be politely quiet. The 1-2 to Moya. Pop back out of play. Series finale tomorrow at noon. We'll have it for you right here on Sports Time Ohio as Josh Tomlin tries to run his record to 10-1 on the year. Strike 3 called, 2 down. batter will be Mike Aviles. Aviles has singled, walked, and grounded out. Castellanos, the third baseman that was scheduled to start, couldn't go tonight with flu-like symptoms. Tapper to second. Kipnis hits the bag. This one's over. The Indians roll on. They beat the Tigers 12-1 as they run their home win streak to 13 in a row. The Indians now 51-32 on the year. Their lead is 8 games in the loss column now in the American League Central Division. Carlos Carrasco the winner. He's now 5-2 on the year. Anibal Sanchez takes the loss for Detroit. He's 5-9, and with the loss, Detroit is now 44-40 on the season as the Indians have now beat Detroit 11 straight times this year. The Indians' home win streak, the longest in the big leagues this season. So Terry Francona's club rolls on at home as we take a moment to look back at the Pat O'Brien play of the game, and it was a defensive gem.
Yeah, this is a strange play you do not see too often. A ball that might have been caught in the air, but Lindor picks it up and ends up stepping on second for the force out, throwing to third to get Moya going between second and third, and there's the tag applied. So it was a 4-6-5 double play and got Carrasco out of that inning on a very heads-up play by Frankie Lindor.
And at that moment, it was only 4-0 Cleveland, and they had 2 on, first 2 on to start the inning. So they come right back. They score 3 in the bottom half of the 5th, blew it open, and ran away with this one. So the Indians' 13-game home winning streak puts them in some pretty select company since 2006. They won 14 straight at home back in 2011. So the fans filing out as they salute another home win. We'll be back with a final word right after this.